the Cowboys. Everybody likes to talk about the Cowboys. And what do you think, man? Are you starting to panic? They played so terrible.
Yeah, I think it's time to panic a little bit. I am a little nervous. They just played their worst game of the season heading into the playoffs, something you don't want to do, right? And I know they didn't have a lot to play for because maybe they couldn't have gotten the 1 seed, but they didn't know that the Eagles game was close. That game was close. The Eagles could have lost that. The Niners could have lost that game.
That's right.
Gotten the 1 seed. So anyone that says they didn't have a lot to play for, I disagree with. Washington,
They didn't know that until the late in the third quarter. They didn't know that.
Washington is the team that had nothing to play for, and they were playing a rookie in Sam Howell. This team played horribly. This was Dak Prescott's worst game of his career. Every statistic, passer rating, his interception TD ratio, completion percentage, every statistic was bottom 3 in his lifetime of game statistics. And he has more picks in the NFL than anyone, and he only played 12 games. This is a big deal going into the playoffs. You have your worst game of the season. I'm concerned. Now they're on the road. They're playing a team that already beat them this year. I'm truly concerned. And Jerry Jones just keeps talking and hyping these guys up when they need to dial in and focus, which they clearly weren't this weekend.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Here's 2 teams. Both of these teams are in disarray. And you're right. It's not that this game they didn't have a lot to play for. That's not the right way to characterize this. They had a lot to play for, and they did not play well. And Tampa's not playing well. So this is a really tough game to pick because these guys both have been up and down. Both teams have been up and down, mostly down. And we don't know who's going to show up for either of these teams this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to look at the Tampa Bay game a little differently. Yeah, Brady played but they were already locked into their seed. They weren't playing a lot of their guys.
I'm talking about the whole season. They've been up and down.
I agree with you, but they're at least headed in the right direction. Their last full game, Mike Evans looked like a god. Tom Brady was throwing bombs. I mean, they at least looked like they're headed in the right trajectory. They're building on top of good game after good game, win after win. The Cowboys just didn't look like that. Dak's been throwing a ton of picks. They lose to the Jags in overtime. They'd have this game now. I just think they're headed in the wrong direction. And after everyone knows Mike McCarthy already struggles with crunch time, timeout, and decision-making processes. And now your team's playing poorly. Your defense isn't playing as elite. And I did see a statistic about this vaunted defense. This defense allows 10 more points per game on grass than it does turf.
The grass, right.
And guess where Tampa Bay and the Eagles and the Niners, who they'd all have to play. They all play on grass. So I'm very concerned about this defense heading into this playoffs.
Tampa Bay's defensive team is getting healthy, so they're getting back at the right time. The Bucs already beat the Cowboys this year. They beat them by 16 before, and now they got them at home in the playoffs against Brady. Can they win that kind of game? Because whoever loses this game is going to be a very disappointing season, and I don't think Tom Brady's going down easily.
Yep, I agree with you, man. I think it's going to be a really close game. This line's already close. I think if the Cowboys had won, the line would have been closer to 6-7, but it's only like 3 or 2 at the moment. So going to be a close game.